The first thing you're going to do as a content creator is stop begging people to join your space, your page, to share your content, to be a part of your community. Nobody likes a beggar. And you really don't have to do that. I know it feels like it in the very beginning. You may feel like, oh, I don't really know how to get people to join. That's not it. People are going to be completely turned off when you start to do that. But if you build those things into your content naturally, give them a reason to want to stay, give them a reason to want to stick around, it'll work. And you can do this without niching down. But I do want to talk about this today. If you haven't seen the series that I did on Contagious by Jonah Berger, that might be really helpful too, because some of those principles, I'm just going to talk about that here. But this idea came up. I saw a post by Zach Pogrobms, who I've been following for about a year. Zach is one of the people that actually inspired me to start like really taking content creation more seriously, and not for the financial gain, because you hear people talk about post the content all the time, but he really helped me to see it as this thing that's like a duty. He calls it obsession, and that's his entire movement. Find something to be obsessed with and do it. And he separates himself into an artist, an entrepreneur, and an athlete. So he's really obsessed with running. His artistry is another thing, and then his entrepreneurship is another thing. But typically I find, like, when I look at this model and see other people doing it, it looks more so like their artistry and entrepreneurship are somehow tied together. That seems to be the case for him too, and it is the case for me. But anyway, what he said that sparked this idea that I'm going to talk to you about today is, don't think about what you want to create. Wait until there's something you can't not create. Now, bear with me, because I am going to explain this and tie it all together, and it's not going to sound like it's related, but it is, because sometimes this is why I think it's good to take what applies to you and leave the rest, because it's almost going to sound like I'm contradicting a little bit of what he says, and I am. But I think that the overall theme of just stop thinking about what you want to create and figure out what it is that you can't not create. But if you're in the space of content creation and you just want to create something and you don't know what that is, how do you get there? By creating content. So remember, when I tell you to post multiple times a day, it's not because I want you to go viral. Yes, I want you to go viral. That's going to help. But what do we also talk about? Everybody wants to go viral, but most people are not ready for what it means to go viral. For instance, if you go viral for some random video and it's like the first video you ever posted, you're now going to be chasing that virality for a very long time, because now you want that validation, right? If you go viral, let's say you make cakes and you're trying to grow your cake making business, you want to get orders, but you do a random dance that's a trend on TikTok on that page and that goes viral. You're not like, oh yeah, my business is finally taking off. No, it's not. You just did a one-off video that people resonated with. And if they follow you, they're probably going to unfollow you soon because they followed you for dancing and you over here making cakes. So you can go viral for all the wrong reasons. I don't care about your virality, because I am 100% confident that you can build community without relying on viral videos. I know that because that is what I do. Virality brings me more eyes and more traffic, but people stay and continue to come because of the sense of community. And I don't necessarily have a niche. So what I talk about on my primary TikTok account is every experience that I have through the different hats that I wear. So I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a woman of God, I like to garden, I like to draw, I have all of these things. I'm a sister, I'm a mom, but most of it is from the perspective of like big sister advice that I'm reaching back to give to my past self. So because of that, it's really not a niche. I can talk about anything. There are so many things in life that I've learned that I can reach back and give to the other person. So I can talk about whatever I want. And here's how that works. When I first started posting, I was just posting like voiceovers with food, and I just really was like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. One day though, I felt compelled to talk about something that was a little bit more vulnerable, personal, marriage related, and I knew that it was something that people needed to hear, but because I had never really been out there on the internet, I didn't know what was going to happen after that video. It went viral, and it went viral for all the right reasons, right? But it also showed me how virality can be a headache, because people are arguing, people twist your words, people intentionally misunderstand what you said, people come and be sarcastic, people are ignorant. But then there's a pocket of people who you don't see. They just like the video. They just save the video. They share the video, but maybe they don't comment. Sometimes they do, right? But we get so caught up in like the things that we see, and you start to see negative comments and you get worried. You don't have to worry about all those things. So anyway, when you start posting, and why I say you should post multiple times a day is because if I go through my day and I have these thoughts and I'm thinking about something, like just now I sat down and I thought about something and I was like, I want to make this a TikTok video. So I quickly recorded it and I put it in my drafts. I might get off the phone with somebody and it sparks a conversation in my head about something else. That can be a TikTok video. I might have a story to share about how God is so good and he delivered me from this thing and he's been lining up my actions. I can share that story. I might go to class and something happens in class that's funny and I want to share it with my audience. I might just want to show my outfit. The sooner you start to think, I don't have to have a reason for people to follow me and I just have to exist as a person, the better. People watched The Truman Show. The Truman Show, people spent years of their life following. I mean, it's a movie, but they spent years of their life following this man living his regular life. They watched it. He was just doing regular stuff. The gag was everybody knew it was a show and he didn't. Why do you think that people don't want to watch your regular day in the life? Why do you think that nobody cares about what you're cooking tonight for dinner? Maybe they don't care, but it's because the people who are watching it are the people who don't care. There are people out there who care. And you don't have to worry about that. Just put the content out. Lose the attachment to like, oh, I have to get all these followers. It's not working. Like, I get kind of frustrated when people say, or I see the trends of people like, y'all telling us to post 20 times a day. I've been doing it. It's not working. It's like, okay, 7 times a day for a week is 49 posts. If you don't go viral, the advice is not bad. You're not consistent. Get out the microwave, right? So we have to also understand that. So where this idea that Zach was talking about comes into play and how it ties in with Contagious is you want to build authentic content. And if you have no idea what that content is, you need to just make content. Just express yourself. Just be comfortable doing whatever and not worrying about validation. And what's going to happen is one of two things. One, your audience is going to tell you what you should make more of by way of traction. So for me, everything that I was posting, I was reading, the books would take off. I would talk about marriage, those topics would take off. I would do an outfit of the day, maybe not so much, every now and then, right? Am I going to stop doing outfits of the day? No, I'm still going to do it because I want to do it. But I'm going to focus more on marriage and I'm going to focus more on the books that I'm reading because people find value in that. And I'm not compromising myself. Sorry, I'm touching the microphone. I'm not compromising myself because I'm the person that's in a space of understanding that this is what I want to create. I'm only adjusting it because people want to see more of this. So I'm just going to put out more of that. I'm not going to put out more of something that I'm not willing to make. Okay. And then what goes into that with Contagious is as you're making your content, and this comes over time. Don't stress yourself out doing this in the beginning. As you make your content, you start to figure out what's the inner remarkability. And I'll give you a few examples. So if you know, like I know what I use to my advantage when I talk about marriage is the concept of men versus women, but not in a, I'm gonna rage bait people, but I do use those words for the sake of the algorithm, right? Because I know I can sit here and I can talk about the topic, but if I don't put it on screen what I'm talking about, most of the people, even if they are interested, they might miss it because I talk about this all the time. People can't be bothered to be pulled out of their random doom scrolling unless they know what they're getting themselves into. And so when you look at how do you build the inner remarkability, how do you make it emotional, how do you tell a story, how do you do these things, that is why you need to post more. Because if you're not used to storytelling on camera and you start trying to build this masterpiece, you're just going to stress yourself out, and now content creation is hard. But if you make 7 posts a day for 3 weeks, right? You've gone 21 days making 7 posts a day. Now you're more comfortable just talking and rambling. You say, you're like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just posting. Now, what happens 2-3 months later of you just being more comfortable in front of the camera? Because people think that I'm just this unicorn. I have practiced and I read a lot. I read, I write, I research. And so all of those things combined with me being more comfortable talking on camera, they all come together and it's a very seamless process to where now it's not hard. I don't even think about it. Everything is content. I don't think twice about content. I just make the content. If it takes off, it takes off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I also now have this practice of understanding what to do, how to do it to make it a better video. In the beginning, you're not going to know how to make a really good hook. You just have to practice. But after 2-3 months, you're going to notice like, oh, every time I say this, the video takes off really well. Every time I start the video with this, okay, every time I put this on the screen, the video does really well. And so all you do is take those same principles and put them into your video again and again and again. And now you have a feedback loop. If you never post videos until you're ready to create the thing, you have no feedback, you have no practice. So now you're still cringy, you're still feeling nervous, and you're still causing yourself to be anxious. So make content that is authentic to you. And then when you figure out, oh, this is what I want to create, I have to create this, just make more of that. And if you want to delete all the other videos, you can, but you don't have to, right? And now that you're on that part where you've been making content, and oh, this is it, right? Like maybe you're making content about parenting, and every time you talk about erasing toxic parenting, it just goes crazy. You can make that like a series where you talk about things that happened to you in your childhood and how you're going to be a different parent, where these things played out in my childhood this way, but I don't think that was a bad idea. I think it was just executed poorly. Let's talk about it. And maybe that series takes off. So now you keep doing that series, but you also make your other content. Here's what my baby ate today. Here's what I'm packing in his lunch today. Here's where we're going today. We want to get out the house and do something free and fun. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have to have a niche. You just have to use your content that you're making over time as research. But if you're not making the content over time, you have no research. So I'm not the person that's telling you to post it. Yes, it is a lottery ticket, but I'm not the person telling you just post, throw up whatever until it hits. I'm the person telling you post so that you can get practice. Would you ever step out onto a basketball court for a game without ever practicing? If you do, you're crazy. You're crazy. I'm just going to tell you that. Would you go and do a recital without having ever practiced the instrument, practiced the dancing? Would you go to a competition? Would you go to present your research? Would you go to do anything without preparing? The only difference is people, like, we have this warped reality of content creation because it's so many people everywhere. It's content everywhere. You feel like everybody can do it. I can do it well too. Content creation is still a skill. And you just have to learn the skill. The beautiful thing about it, though, is it's not a one-size-fits-all type of skill. It's not. You can personalize it. You can customize it. You can make it your own. You can do what you want. You can carefully brand yourself over time and just wait until it goes off. And I say that because I also want you to understand that when you're doing multiple platforms at a time, if you get comfortable with one, you'll learn to be comfortable with the other. Right? Like TikTok was my pride and joy for a while. And then I was like, let me play with YouTube. And now I'm monetized on YouTube too. So once I get the hang of YouTube, I'm going to be like, okay, now I can take time to dedicate myself to Instagram too. Because when you get really good at something, it's just, right? So now TikTok is just background noise to me, where I know how to do it. I know how to keep it going. I don't have to put as much energy and effort. I just make sure that I'm being authentic, make sure that I'm talking about the things that are on my heart. I make sure that I engage with people. Done. YouTube, I make sure that I take advantage of scheduling. I make sure that I take advantage of some videos that are applicable from TikTok that I can put on YouTube. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Most of my videos on YouTube are videos that came straight from TikTok. Boom. But every week I also put out 2 original videos. And then I also started uploading my podcast there, right? Podcasting, I don't put much thought into trying to grow it, because as my audience grows, my podcast will grow, right? The thing is, I think the real problem that people have is this fear of being seen trying, this fear of starting from the ground, this fear of looking crazy. You got to get past that. Once you get past that, I think you will be unstoppable. But focus first on just creating the content, not just anything. Don't just post random pictures. Post content that is applicable to your life, applicable to what you do, and that is authentic, and try to make sure that there's a benefit for the other person. So when I post an outfit of the day, it's not just look at me in my cute outfit. It's from the perspective of look at me in this outfit. I don't have a big closet. I keep telling y'all, wear your clothes, wear them again, have a small wardrobe, recycle your outfits. Y'all remember I wore these pants last week? Got them on again. And look, I wore it with a different shirt, and I did this, and I put this belt on, and then I did this, and boom. You don't have to buy all those clothes. Just wear what you have. And that is me making my content unselfish, because I'm not just taking a picture like, oh, I felt cute today. I'm showing you my outfit, and I'm telling you the story about how me wearing this outfit can also be you, how you can be more sustainable, how you can save more money, how you can be more presentable with less effort, whatever the case may be. When I talk about my marriage, I'm not saying me and my man. I'm saying Have you ever noticed this about marriage? I think if you pick this up, your marriage would be better, right? When I'm talking about parenthood, I'm not like, hey, me and my kids. Yes, I'm talking about me and my kids, but I'm saying it in a way that's like you. So for instance, if I was the combative wife and I used to have issues with my husband, and then I learned like, oh, fruit of the spirit is long suffering, it's also patience, it's kindness, it's gentleness. Let me adapt that. And I start adapting that and my life changes. When I tell the story, I'm going to say, you're having this problem with your husband because you do this, this, and this. Why? Because I know that was me. If you start doing this, this, and this, it'll probably get better for you. Why? Because that was me. And so I'm telling my story, but I'm making it your story. And that's one way that you can implement the storytelling in it. The emotions and all of those things that you want to tie into your post, don't overwhelm yourself. Just post the content first. Get comfortable with posting the content. Get comfortable with understanding. It might take me months. It might take me years. It might be tomorrow. But I'm just going to keep practicing the craft. And I promise y'all it's going to work. There's a few people that I know that I've been like coaching over time, and they're doing really well. One of them is doing awesome with streaming. I have no idea how streaming works, but she took the concepts and the things that I was explaining about, like, just keep going. Don't worry about it. Just keep going, keep getting better, get comfortable. If she is streaming, like she gets on live, she be having thousands of people on her live. She's on Twitch. Like she has a whole community of people that are so invested in what she has to offer. There's another one of my friends, she's doing something completely different, not even on TikTok, but took the same concept. Someone else that I met online, she's now like finally getting past these barriers. She's like, oh, I hit 5,000, I hit 6,000. She's going to hit 10K soon. She's probably going to be 20K, and then it's going to keep rolling. But these things are coming about because they're just putting in the practice, and they're not looking at all of the vanity metrics. It stings to put out a bunch of content and get 200, 300 views. It stings your ego. But if you don't let it and you say, well, why does it only have 200, 300 views? Let me see what I could have done differently. And you just keep going. Just put the content out. Put the content out. And when you got 50, 60 videos, look at those videos and see what could have been done better. Then make 50, 60 more. Then keep going. But if you have no idea what to make as your content, this idea that Zach is presenting is that you should just wait until there's something that you cannot create. I think that while you're waiting, just have fun. Have fun creating content until it clicks for you. And that's all you need to do. Because I think if you wait, then you're going to get the idea and then you're going to procrastinate some more. But if you just put that action in motion and you just create stuff, have fun, showcase your personality, boom, when it hits you, you'll be ready. You'll be smooth sailing. So I hope that helps. I am going to start uploading a video a week on here on Mondays, just to keep things pretty consistent so that y'all can know when to expect a new video. So I will see y'all next week.